Masterminds, welcome back to Mastar Media. Today I have a very, very special guest. If you guys like Dragon Ball Super spoilers, we have one of the only people on the internet who translates these spoilers and gives it out to the public. Please welcome a great guest to the show on Mastar Media, Ken Zyro.
Hello everyone, how are you doing today?
Ken Zyro contributes a ton to this community, and he has his own YouTube channel, Apple Ken. And I'll put the link in the description. He has a lot of great insight, and he's an incredibly credible source and does a ton for our community. So I just want to thank him for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for having me. Good to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So what we're going to talk about today is, now that we know Dragon Ball Super is ending, this does a few different things and tells us a few different things. Primarily, some of the theories, actually a lot of theories that people have had about the direction that Dragon Ball Super is going to go with this Tournament of Power are going to be completely erased. Like, for example, Frieza's evil intentions, him getting the possibility of wishing to take control of Zeno or get control of the gods. For example, something like that we know is not going to happen. There's a lot of other theories as well we're going to talk about in this video. And also, now that we know that it's ending in 7 episodes, 6 of which are Tournament of Power specific, what is that exactly like? This is going to move really fast, you know, like what is going to happen in the next 6 episodes, because now we have a deadline for everything to happen. Everybody gets knocked out and there's a victor. I mean, actually it could end in a tie, and we can talk about that. One of the theories that I wanted to eliminate right off the bat is the whole evil great priest, evil angels theory, which a lot of people thought, what was the episode that Universe 9 got erased? Was it episode 98, right?
It was, right. One episode after it started, so 98.
And everybody thought that there was going to be some evil angels because we saw their angel smile when they got erased. And then now it's been nothing of the sort, right? So,
you're right.
So there's going to be no evil angels. The great priest is actually not a bad guy with some evil intentions and stuff like that. That theory's out the door. Can you think of any other theories that have been spawning throughout this entire Tournament of Power saga that basically are kicked to the dust now because we know that the tournament's over?
Hits clone, obviously, and
Hits clone.
Well, the thing with that evil angels and evil grand priest theory is that I personally never really believed in them, but yeah, when they got erased, when Universe 9 got erased in episode 98, we saw their angel smile, and people thought, okay, maybe this angel is evil and stuff. But if you know the insight from the manga, or not from the manga, from the Toei website, his bio states that he doesn't really like his god of destruction and the Kaioshin of his universe. So he was smiling at that time because he don't like them. And people who didn't read that guy's bio on Toei side just assume that he was evil, which was okay. Like, I can understand if you didn't know that thing from his bio, you would think that why is he smiling, and you might think that he's evil. But the truth is that he was simply smiling because he didn't like them, and he was just happy that they are now gone. So personally, I never really believed in that theory. We have crazy theories going every week, but
there's tons of crazy theories.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some. I mean, but like so many of them, we've had theories ever since this tournament started, and a lot of theories about Jiren, a lot of theories about all these characters, the Yardrat and stuff. You know, we're getting all excited about all these characters. It's like nothing happened with it. So let me ask you this: my opinion on what's going. Well, okay, first before I talk about what's going to happen in the next 6 to 7 episodes, let's talk about Dragon Ball Super episode 127, the provisional title, The Final Barrier of Hope. So I made a video on that today, and I was talking about how this is pretty clear to me that this is Android 17's glory episode, or at least his elimination episode. What is your opinion on it?
It does point to that, because if you look at the Japanese title, it says it uses an English word for barrier. So it says barrier, literally it says barrier, and when they say that, they usually mean the barrier that Android 17 uses. So it might be pointing towards that, because if they meant a barrier like an obstacle, they would have used, I guess, Kabe, which is not Kaba, but Kabe, which is a Japanese word for obstacle. So, but they didn't use that. They used English word barrier. So I also think that they are pointing towards Android 17. And this episode is going to be where he really shines and might even get eliminated.
Yeah, I think that, okay, so if he's going to go in 127, you think Frieza's going to go in 125 against God of Destruction Topo?
That might be crazy, but it might happen because you see the thing with that is we've been getting spoilers lately and they are not really spoiling much for us. And you have to understand that these magazines, the spoilers that we get, they are not actually spoilers. They are supposed to be preview for the next episode that is supposed to come. And the official release date of the magazine, in which we get all of this information, is actually Monday after the episode is released. So if at times we feel that an episode is spoiled, it wasn't their intention to spoil it for us, because the release date for that information was supposed to be after the episode airs on a Sunday. And basically we are getting the information earlier. So if you have noticed that recently many of the spoilers that we got from this magazine have been wrong, like outright completely wrong. There was a spoiler for a previous episode where it said that Frieza actually wanted to torture Universe 2 warriors, which is Ribrianne and the others, but Goku and the others eliminated them, so Frieza got angry. And
so many of the spoilers have been completely off, like Krillin getting disqualified, and there's been so many that like completely threw us off. And then when the episode happened, we're just like, what? Like,
yeah, but like with the Krillin one, I understand because the word they used in the Japanese magazine, it could be sort of interpreted in both ways. It could be disqualified, it could be eliminated. It is sort of a translation thing. But with the Frieza spoilers, it was like completely off. Frieza didn't get angry and he didn't want to torture Universe 2 warriors. I have a theory about that, by the way. I think that they did plan to include it in the anime, all these things, but because of production issues, they have to just edit stuff out of the anime because they just couldn't get that scene in the anime in time. So that might be the reason, because they might have planned it originally, but maybe because of deadlines and stuff, they couldn't get it to finish on time, and they were like, okay, fuck it, just remove that scene. It's not that important.
Yeah. I think yeah, I mean, the spoilers, like they tend to give us like a really good indication of like what's going to happen, but yeah, I mean, they do have some issues. So let's talk about Frieza. I think Frieza is going to be knocked out in 125, and then I think Vegeta is going to see how strong Topo is. He's going to break off Jiren, and he's going to go, and he's actually going to be the one to destroy or knock off Topo. And the reason why they say his power is beyond God's, and maybe you can give some insight to that translation in case it's been mistranslated or it's a word that can be used interchangeably with other words. It says that Vegeta's life-risking attack, it goes beyond God's.
Exactly.
And that really confused a lot of people. And my thought is that if what goes beyond God's, though, I think that the reason they're saying that is because Vegeta's attack is going to knock off or destroy Topo, who is a god, and that's why Vegeta's attack will go beyond God's, because Topo is going to be God of Destruction. If Vegeta uses any kind of attack to beat a god, then he is beyond God's, and that makes perfect sense. What do you think about that?
Yes, that does make sense. So the thing with that is, originally I thought that it said surpassing even the gods, because in Japanese there is it is very vague. So basically when you say Uchu, you mean universe, but you can also mean universes in plural. Same with the word God. You can say same word, but it could mean singular or plural. So at first I thought it meant surpassing even the gods. So I thought Vegeta might get some form or something. But when I saw that next episode title that Topo is referred to as a god of destruction, in context I immediately understood that this is referring to Topo and Vegeta, because So the title for that Vegeta episode, I would say, is Surpassing Even a God, Vegeta's life-threatening attack. And that life threat is on his own life. It is sort of a, I want to say Kaioken, because when Goku used Kaioken on top of Blue, he said that if he messes this move up, it's going to mess up his own body. And there's a very less chance of him succeeding in that. And it is sort of that thing. So
what do you
see.
think? What do you think it is? What do you think Vegeta's attack is?
That's a difficult one. I think that...
You think it's a new attack, or he's just going to do like full power Final Flash or something?
You know, there's an ongoing joke in the Japanese community about this, that Final Flash is never really final.
I mean, so in DBZ it was like his last attack. He put all of his energy into it, and it was amazing. Now he just pops out Final Flash like it's Kamehameha. You know what I mean? Like he still has plenty of energy left. I mean, even against Jiren, I mean, he really charged that shit up, but he's still going. You know? They should just call it Flash. Just
that would be dirty.
Flash attack.
Well, let's see, but I do think it's some. I hope it's some new attack, because literally we've seen everything from Vegeta at this point. We've seen all his attacks, all his form, what he can do, what he can't do. So if he pulls out a new attack at this point, it might, make us Vegeta fans happy, and it might even make sense. See, if they are just pulling Vegeta's new form out of their ass, they are not giving us any explanation for it. They are not even giving us a name. We just see Vegeta's blue and it's in sparkle form. So we might get another one of those things, like an attack out of nowhere, no explanation for it, and that attack defeats Taupo, so the episode title becomes Surpassing Even a God. So that makes sense.
What if he uses his new attack? It's like Gamma Burst. Is it Gamma Burst Flash?
It was in. Was it in GT?
I made an entire video on it. Yeah, Gamma Burst Flash. It was in the manga. He used it against Merge Zamasu or Goku Black. It was one of the two. I think it was Merge Zamasu he used. It's called Gamma Burst Flash, and it was kind of like a full power Final Flash, like a fully charged up one, but it happens like instantly. It was really awesome attack. It'd be sick if they used that.
That would be cool.
Yeah, instead of having his hands like focused outward, he like has his fingers inward. And I made a whole video on it on my channel. It has almost 300,000 views, called Vegeta's New Attack. But yeah, I mean, hopefully he gets something like new and cool. If he busted out the Kaioken, could you imagine? Fans would lose their freaking minds. But I doubt it. Goku hasn't trained him or taught him. Well, they were in the Room of Spirit and Time for a while, right? So I mean, maybe Goku did teach it to him, but I feel like if he had it since all the way back then, like he would have used it by now, So it's probably not Kaioken. It's probably not anything that Goku has. It's probably just some new kind of blast, or it's just a Final Flash that clashes with Topo's Justice Flash, and they're in a beam struggle, and Vegeta dumps like all of his power into it, and by blowing off Topo, he like passes out, and that was like his life-risking attack. Hopefully, it's not something like cliche like that. I mean, I think that Dragon Ball Super does give us a lot of fan service in so many different areas. We got Broly, we got female Super Saiyans, we got Vegito, we've gotten so much fan service. We got evil Goku. So I feel like if they want to give us more fan service, they'll give Vegeta something new. Okay, let me ask you a question about the upcoming episodes. Do you think Vegito is coming?
No, because that is a big no, because there was an interview between Toyotaro, and it wasn't an interview, it was sort of a casual talk, and I read that, and there it said that Zamasu at first was not supposed to be as strong he was in the anime and manga. At first he was supposed to be very weak, but then he grew in his power more and more and more, just for fans. And then even Vegeta was not planned. So I think it was Toyotaro or was it Toriyama who said that Vegeta and Goku's personality don't really match up well. So they are really against fusion. So they didn't really plan on Vegeta showing up even in the Zamasu arc, but they had to do it to make up for the fan expectation. So you're right that they are giving us fan service, and Vegeta basically happened because of fan service. But
that was Toyotaro's recommendation, right, to include Vegito, and then Toriyama like okayed it, correct?
I'm not sure if it was his recommendation, but I remember him saying that just to meet fan expectations, they had to involve Vegito in the story. So I don't think they're going to bring Vegito back again for a second time just for that. And because they have already done that. That was fan service and they've done that. So if they want to give us more fan service, they're going to move on to the next thing, which might be something else. And that would be Vegeta's new form, which we got. And this is like Vegeta and Goku, their forms being exclusive to them. There was this theory going on, and I agree with that now, because if you see at Goku's Ultra Instinct, it's sort of an exclusive form to him now. And we have Vegeta's Sparkle thing, for which we don't have a name yet, but it's sort of they're giving us each individual fans of Goku and individual fans of Vegeta exclusive fan service by giving them individual attention.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but I think Vegeta's gonna get the shaft, dude. I think he's
that's true.
I think he's
in
gonna,
the end, few things just never change.
He's gonna get done. He's gonna get done so dirty, dude. They're just gonna like. Yeah. I mean, it sucks. Like, I'm a huge Vegeta fan, probably more than Goku, honestly. Like, I love Vegeta's character. I've always liked, like, very kind of, like, vigilante, kind of, like, evil, like, vagabond type characters who, like, I love Guts from Berserk, who are, like, they're the main character in a way, like, they're a good guy, like, they have a good goal, but they're, like, a badass and like a bad guy in a way. And like, I love that kind of personality. And that's how Vegeta was in Z, you know, and he got so much glory from that. But then it's like in Super, he never gets any satisfaction. I mean, he got like one episode of satisfaction on Frieza, one episode of satisfaction on Goku Black, and now he's got this new form, but he hasn't done anything with it yet. I think he's just going to get shafted. Like, I think they just gave us that new format of Vegeta just to make fans happy. Like you said, it's total fan service. But we'll see in 126. I mean, 126 should be a pretty tremendous episode. And, you know, obviously we'll get some more information for the preview. Once we watch episode 125, we should learn what is going to happen. I mean, that's an episode that really piques my interest. It sounds like, I have a feeling Frieza's going to go out in this next coming episode 125. Vegeta may go out in 126, and then Android 17. That it would be really hard to believe that he lasts more than Vegeta and Frieza. Like, he's the second to last to go. I mean, that would be so weird. And then he goes out in 127. Well, say maybe Vegeta blasts off Toppo and he blasts off himself in the process. And then 17 sacrifices himself for Goku, and then that triggers Goku into going Ultra Instinct, which would leave 3 episodes of Ultra Instinct Goku versus Jiren as the finale, which would be amazing if we got that far. If we had that, I think 3 episodes would do real justice. And then Goku, I guess, would win somehow. And the final episode 131 is gonna basically tell us. If it leaves on like a cliffhanger, you know, it's going to tell us it's going to continue. If it ends like with the end of DBZ, if they like reanimate the end of DBZ and include it into Super, that could pretty much tell us that Super is over, you know?
Yeah. I mean, but about that, I have a crazy thing to say, but I don't want to say it as a fact because people might take it the wrong way. I'm going to say it though. So here's the thing. I predict that Frieza might actually die with the hands of Vegeta in the coming episodes. And I say that because I do have few things that point towards that. But I don't want to say that yet. I'm still working on that video and I'm still researching on that. I don't want to say exactly what it is, but there is a solid, like a very solid thing pointing towards that Frieza is gonna die and forever, not just like he's gonna get maybe he gets resurrected again in the future, but he might die, like literally die by the hands of Vegeta in the tournament in the coming episodes. That is very bold, but I do have proof about that, and I'm still researching on that, which I plan to release information in about 3 or 4 days as soon as I'm done. But yeah, right now I just want to say that much for it. I don't want to say more on that topic.
So wait, how do you get this? Like, do you so Yonko does the scans, right? Yonko Productions,
Yep.
and then you translate it,
Yep.
and like, but you have some ties to Japan, like, or you just translate?
No. This information about Frieza dying, this is completely me, and it is sort of a and yeah, Therese on Twitter, she pointed this thing to me. There are things that are pointing towards this. It's not a complete like concrete set in stone thing. It's just there are things that some writers and some animators said that points to Frieza dying in the Tournament of Power.
He may be. I mean, I think, God, how many times has this dude come back through all Dragon Ball? 10, 11 times? But you remember what happened in the Buu arc when Vegeta was dead and he had his halo and he's fighting Buu, and Goku's like, if you die again, like, you're erased. So maybe that's what happens to Frieza. Maybe his character literally just gets erased completely. That'd actually be kind of interesting, but I don't think he's gonna die, man. I think, honestly, in my opinion, and I could be completely wrong, but I think he's just gonna get knocked out. He may do some treacherous kind of stuff, but I think he's still gonna get knocked out, and I still think that Goku is gonna resurrect him and just be like, go on your merry way. And he's just gonna like say some crap and then just go out in space and do his own thing, or he's just gonna like settle down on Earth, and maybe whatever the next series is, he'll be a friendly character or something like that. I mean, I don't know that for sure, but I don't think like I don't think he's gonna get erased.
Well, yeah. But let's see. There is only we have to remember that there are only like 6 or 7 episodes remaining, so we also have to consider that into it, because if we say that Frieza is gonna get resurrected and all that, they don't have time to cover all of that.
Yeah, they could. In episode 131, like, say the Tournament of Power ends in episode 130, and 131 is just like a cleanup final ending episode. They could literally spend like 2 minutes just having Goku in front of the Dragon Balls and like wishing Frieza back, and boom, done.
That's true.
End of story. And then like he just says like, hey Frieza, he's like, thanks for helping us, like, go do your own thing now and don't be evil anymore. And Frieza's like, huh, and then like flies away or some shit. Boom, 2 minutes, done. That's something that Dragon Ball Super would do.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with that.
So there's not going to be any Planet Sadala arc. There's no going to be like Pride Trooper arc. I think Goku, we're either going to get Vegito, and you gave a really good reason for why Vegito wouldn't come before, because it was kind of forced. Although I do think an Ultra Instinct Vegito would get crazy merchandise sales, especially if he wins the Tournament of Power. And if you're like, if you're a business guy working at Toei, it's a pretty clear, obvious choice. Hey, let's make Ultra Instinct Vegito and sell it on everything and make a shit ton of money. I'm a business guy, so it's kind of like, why wouldn't you do that? And considering all the other fan service that they've given us, I have a feeling that it could come, and it could be the way they beat Jiren. If we know the Spear Bomb doesn't work on Jiren, the only other thing that I think could beat him is if Goku gets Ultra Instinct again and he goes Kaioken on top of it. That's what that red aura was from the initial pictures, which honestly, I don't think that's what it was. I think that was just they're still working on the design of the character, and they just included that to make it look cool. I don't think it was Kaioken on top. I don't think he's going to be able to transform on top of Ultra Instinct, but again, that's just speculation. But I don't think Goku, even if he powers up again, every time he gets Ultra Instinct, say he powers up even more than the last time he used Ultra Instinct, I still don't think he's going to be even remotely close to Jiren. I mean, Jiren back then, in episode like 110, was just doing like 10% of his power. And he like whooped, like Ultra Instinct wasn't shit, like couldn't even hurt him. And even if Goku's powering up, Jiren is still not at full power. I don't see any way that he's going to be able to beat him, you know? So I don't know.
You're
I mean,
right.
but hopefully they give us something that. So what Dragon Ball Super like the writers of Dragon Ball Super like to do in Akira is they kind of like they lead us into a certain direction. Like Goku's gonna win and use the Super Dragon Balls to wish all the universes back. Like that's what they want you to think. They lead you in a direction where it's like a clear outcome, right? And everybody kind of gets aboard the train, and then they kind of switch it. Like we thought Vegito might beat Merge Zamasu, or Goku would use a Spirit Bomb, and it wasn't either of those. It was Trunks using a Spirit Bomb sword, but we did get Vegito, and it was a Spirit Bomb in a sense, not from Goku, but it was like, you know what I'm saying? It's like everybody's either on the Genki Dama train or Vegito train, and it's like, so they led us in a direction, and then they gave us something different. And I feel like they're doing the exact same thing here. And maybe I'm not putting my finger on it, but I don't think it's just going to be as clear of an outcome as Goku gets Ultra Instinct again and wins, or and then wishes everybody back. Like I think it has to be something crazy, but we know it can't be too crazy, because the show is going to end soon, you know?
Yeah, you're right. And that is one of the things that I'm most excited about. Like, how are they going to defeat Jiren? He's just so powerful, and they haven't given us anything that might show us his weakness. And if they're going to show Jiren getting defeated out of nowhere, it has to be sort of a Aspul, you can say. I don't want to say Aspul, my bad, but it's going to be sort of a thing that we don't know about Jiren yet. So they're going to reveal that, okay, Jiren can be defeated because this is his weakness, and Goku and Vegeta work on that weakness of his. So right now he might appear invincible to us because we don't know what his weakness is, and they are still hiding it. They might reveal it later, but still, like, I want to know, how are they going to do this? And that's what I'm most excited about.
Honestly, I think Jiren is invincible. I think he is. Like, I think he hasn't taken any damage yet. He surpassed his time. He took point blank blasts. He took punches that did 0 damage from these people who like could destroy like an entire universe like with their finger. And it hasn't even scratched the dude yet. Like, he has no scratches whatsoever on him. I literally maybe he did get the Super Dragon Balls. Maybe he is invincible. I mean, that'd be pretty stupid because, like, you know, Zamasu has already done that. But like, there's no indication that he's defeatable in any sense. Like, if anything, he's the real Zeno. Which would actually be kind of funny and interesting if, like, he's the real Omni King. It's like fucking Jiren.
That would be crazy.
Dude, how crazy would that be if, like, Jiren is the real Omni King, like, the entire time? Like, that would be so fucking insane. Oh my god, that would actually be a pretty cool ending.
Yeah.
And he's just like, you've shown me, you know, some entertainment for the first time I've had in like millennia, and I actually really enjoyed this, and so I'm gonna bring all the universes back or something. I mean, and that would be freaking cool, man. That'd be an ending I'd be pretty satisfied with. You know, the fact that like Goku and Vegeta have actually fought like the King of All. I mean, it's probably not it, but how interesting would that be?
That would be. And do you know that there are also indications pointing to that the erased universes are not coming back. So it might be that Super ends with the erased universes still staying erased, because the voice actors for, I think, Caulifly and Kale, was Caulifly? Yeah, I think it was Caulifly and Kale. They said that it was a pleasure working on Super, and that it basically said that they are now done. So they are not coming back. So
really?
So people will assume that means universes are not coming back, but it could have simply been that Dragon Ball Super is ending. But if that's the case, if Dragon Ball Super is ending and they are not coming back, then they should have recorded something. Like if they return, let's say the universes return, right? So it can't be that Universe 6, they don't show Universe 6 at all. They have to show us something, right? Like Kaba is back, he talks to Vegeta, or Kale Cauliflower is back, they say something. They have to at least show something. So if they show something, they must have a line for them, right?
Dude, they don't have to do anything. It's Dragon Ball Super. They can just do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah,
they've made that clear. But
that is also correct.
But I'll say this, that I think the reason that not only did the voice actors Cauliflower and Kale say that, but one of the animation directors was like, I just found out that this was like episode 126 was his last episode being an animation director. I forget who it was. He or a supervisor. They may not know. Toei themselves may not know. So like if they're going to continue it, like I think they're pretty much putting all their eggs in one basket now with the movie. Like they've been making consistently like really good money over the last year with Dragon Ball Super. And I think that they feel like from a business decision, they can make way more money on the movie. And then judging on how well the movie does and how much capital they raise, then they'll decide to whether or not to continue the series. But that's something that's not going to happen for like a year. So, you know, they're not going to tell people the series is coming back for sure, because if they invest all this time and money in the movie and the movie flops, then they're probably not going to continue the show. So I think it's really, really important that the movie does well, which it definitely will do well. Like there's no, unless it's like the shittiest movie ever, which I seriously doubt, because now that all the animators and all the core staff, everybody's really warmed up from working on Super and the movies for the last few years. This movie is going to be so much better than Battle of Gods and Resurrection F. Like, it's going to blow people away. I'm almost positive about that. The only thing is I just hope that it has a really good story. When they say the source of the Saiyan's power, maybe it has something to do with Yamoshi backstory, or I really hope it's not like some homage to Dragon Ball, like ending, and it's just like the story of Goku being a kid and all the way up to now or something like that, and just like all the characters that were involved or something, like, you know, some like tribute movie. Like if it's a tribute movie from the way they described it, it's a possibility. If it's a tribute movie, that could really piss off fans, because it's like, we don't want a tribute and then the show to end. Like everybody wants the show to continue, and the way you're going to get the show to continue and is by giving us something fresh and awesome with spectacular animation and story. And they've shown, though, throughout Dragon Ball Super that they love to play homages to Dragon Ball, to their roots, you know, to where they came from. And hopefully this movie doesn't do that. It's okay for the show to do that here and there, but hopefully the movie doesn't do that, because I think that could turn off a lot of fans.
I agree. And we're going to get more details about the movie on 22nd or 25th, between 22nd and 25th March. So 25th is also the day when we are going to get the final episode for Dragon Ball Super.
How do you know that?
There is a website. I forgot what was it. Anyway, I forgot, but there is an event in Japan on which takes place between 22nd March to 25th March, and there is a Toei booth in that event. And if you look up the information for that Toei booth, it says that at that booth they are going to have information about upcoming things like Digimon Tri and all of that, all the animation they do, and it is also going to have information about the upcoming Dragon Ball movie.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. I mean, geez, just any like any little tidbits of information we get, yeah. No, that would be good timing if they at least released like a sentence on the movie. I mean, God, you know, I think a lot of Dragon Ball YouTubers are really worried about like what this year is going to hold and what the future holds. I'm not worried in the slightest, dude. I mean, so what, they brought in 60 billion yen in 2017, right? Right,
60 billion.
So wait, but doesn't Naruto brought in like 120 billion, or maybe it's 120 million, like US dollars, the article I read.
Yeah, it has to be million because see, the number one in sales in Japan and worldwide IP is actually Gundam, and that is understandable because you imagine Gundam and you imagine their robots and all their toys. They are so cool, so they sell really well. So since like 2015, I didn't see the stats from before that, and since 2015, Gundam has been making 70 billion yen a year. 70 billion. And back in 2015, Dragon Ball was making around 11 billion, and One Piece was making around 20 billion. But in these years, 2015 to 2018, Dragon Ball rose from 11 billion to 60 billion. One Piece is still around like 2030, but Dragon Ball went from 11 to 60, and that is insane. If someone told me like 3 years back that Dragon Ball is gonna surpass Gundam in sales, I would just call them crazy. But looking at the stats now, if Dragon Ball went for 1 year longer, it would have surpassed even Gundam in sales, and that is really saying something.
Just for perspective for the viewers, 60 billion yen is over $500 million US. It's 545 million US dollars. So, but how many series has Gundam? Gundam has had a ton of freaking series, right? Hasn't it had like at least 5?
I'm not
a huge fan either, but I know for a fact that they've had many different series of Gundam.
They could have series, ongoing. But they could have different series, but it doesn't necessarily translate into sales, because we have Doraemon going on for like so long. We have Sazai-san. Do you know how many episodes Sazai-san have?
No, I don't even know what the hell that is.
Yes, Sazai-san is. Yeah, it basically airs on TV, and it always gets the highest rating most of the time. Just like Dragon Ball Super gets around 5 point something on average. One Piece gets around 5 or 6 point on average. Sazai-san is like 13, and it's always on top. And it has around 1,700 episodes in total. Over 1,700. Dragon Ball, if you collect all of Dragon Ball episodes, that's like Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Kai, Dragon Ball Z. If you combine all of that, we have 801 episodes. And Sazai-san is like twice of that, more than twice of that. But it doesn't sell as well as Dragon Ball. So there's that.
Okay, well, I want to thank Ken Zaro so much for joining this call. I'm really happy that I finally got him on a call. He's done so much for our community, and if you guys are Dragon Ball fans, and if you followed any spoilers, I've used his translations so much, and he does so much for you guys as well. So it would mean a lot if you would give him a subscribe and hear him out, and why he makes Dragon Ball videos as well. He's got a lot of that inside information, and maybe not inside information, but he has like a lot of knowledge and knows things that are going on in Japan. I mean, you've heard what this guy's been saying the whole call, so it's definitely worth subscribing to him and showing him some love. Do you have anything else you want to say, brother, before we shut down the call?
Yes, I just want to thank you and every other YouTuber and everyone who actually used my translation, said me thanks, because these past 3 years have been crazy. I was in Dragon Ball Super began, and it wouldn't have been possible without you guys. And I just want to say thanks to you guys and also the viewers, because without the viewers and all the followers on Twitter, this is nothing. The community is nothing, and it's been a good ride. Super might be ending, but we're gonna continue this thing forever.
Yeah, dude, our community is awesome, man. There's a couple bad apples here and there, but for the most part, like, the majority of our community is really awesome, and most people are just really appreciative that we even got another series, and they're just really hyped and interested in the story and everything. And I mean, it's been a pleasure, at least for me, to just be a Dragon Ball YouTuber the last 2 years, and do something like this has just been absolutely great, especially for a series that I grew up with. It's been incredible. Yep. Thanks so much, Ken, and everybody, please subscribe to him and show him some love, and I'll be talking to you guys soon with some more Dragon Ball videos. All right, fellas, peace.